Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the OUA basketball show. My name's Griffin Porter, and we had a lot of action last week. Let's get right into it. I hope you were all tuned into OUA.tv last weekend because we had some great games. Discussions got to start with Sarah Gates in McMaster scoring 47 points against York on Friday, and then she followed that up with 34 points, which is still amazing, but not 47, in a loss to Queens on Sunday. Goes beyond words what Sarah Gates has been doing to start this season. What a privilege to watch. Such a great player. Other great games on the women's side this weekend. Waterloo barely triumphing over TMU and Brock Badgers. They put on a defensive masterclass against Lakehead. That was really fun to see. On the men's side, Windsor just keeps winning. Even without Thomas Kennedy, he was playing with Team Canada. And how about the U of D Varsity Blues? They look like the best team in Toronto right now. Picked up a win over TMU and a W against Laurier as well. Of course, a lot of great other performances and great teams I wish we could talk about, but we never have time to get to them all. There's so much good basketball in the OUA right now, and I want to give a lot of time to our guest. It's our first ever player to appear on OUA basketball show. She's a former All-Star, Mackenzie Robinson. Mackenzie Robinson, the first ever player to join us here on the OUA basketball show. You guys all know her, you love her. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, very exciting for me, of course. I've had a couple reporters on, but that's boring. Everyone wants the players. Everyone wants the big names, the all-stars, like you were in your last year there with Brock. So we're a couple weeks into the season now, and what I want to know is, if you look at your former teammates there at Brock, they're 4-0 right now. When we're at this point, still in November, how important are the results to you guys in a locker room versus how you're playing overall?
I mean, the beginning of the season is about how a team can come together, right? You have that preseason to kind of mesh those pieces on your team. And Brock is really, really young this year because we did have a
Yeah.
lot of seniors leave. So the first initial games is more about getting your ground, where your players are fitting, what pieces need to go where, figuring out those little tweaks that need to be made. The numbers, like the 4-0 or the 0-3, it really doesn't matter because as the ball keeps rolling and people keep playing, things can change quickly, right? Like you've seen in the past where people lose a whole bunch of games and then they come back and win a bunch, right? So I mean, right now it's just getting teams figuring out their sets, their plays, their defense. So it's really early to tell.
Right. So not quite looking at the standings just yet, but on the other side, we've got our defending national champs, TMU. They're sitting on not the record they want to be right now, like you just said. No panic just yet. But at what point, do you start thinking, all right, it'd be really great to start racking up some wins here?
Yeah, I mean, injuries also happen too, right?
Yeah.
So for EMU, you have to look at who's playing right now, like who is actually healthy and on their floor, and you see that some of their main players aren't on right now. They're injured, right? Like Hall is out, and she's a pretty notable player to keep in mind.
Yep.
So for them, once she gets back and she's healthy, that will for sure make a difference. Obviously, with her out of the equation, and for other teams that are probably experiencing the same type of situation, it would be nice to have your starters back. And then once that happens, you'll see those wins start racking up. But really, the wins will only place you in the category, right? Whether you're going to be on number one or you're going to be at the bottom. Either way, most teams still make it into playoffs. So if you don't start winning by at least right before Christmas, then it becomes a little bit of an issue, which is only a few extra weeks, right? So hopefully teams can start pulling out some wins in the next few weeks.
Right. Yeah. So still time, no panic, but starting to keep an eye on the calendar there. But I mean, I think we all know TMU, they're going to sort it out. They're going to
Oh
be
yeah.
okay.
With Carly Clark for sure.
Yeah, you have firsthand experience of that. I don't mean to bring up last year a
Oh, yes.
couple times. You are rocking the great Final Eight shirt there. You helped lead Brock on a fantastic run last year's season and tournament, and now you've retired from the OUA. How is the post playing life treating you so far?
It's definitely I'm gonna say it's relaxing because my
Good.
body is finally getting that break. Playing varsity athletics is really hard. I mean, you're going 6 days a week. You're watching the film. You're practicing. You're shooting. You're watching video by yourself. Like you're constantly going. So it's really hard to recover your body. But now my body is like, thank you for finally taking a break and just relaxing. But in terms of basketball, I miss it so much now that I'm kind of coaching a few other teams and helping them, both girls and boys basketball. That's difficult to not be able to play, but hopefully I can take my skills and my knowledge of basketball and help them become better basketball players.
Yeah, it's always tough, I've heard, for great athletes to become great coaches, but some of them are certainly built for it. I'm not a great athlete. I would not know. Have you been watching any of your old teammates or any OUA yet this year? Have you been keeping an eye on it?
I have actually. I went down to Brock and watched them play their home opener against Wilfrid Laurier, which was a nail biter game, and
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna head out this Friday as well to watch them play against Waterloo. But yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic. If you're going to be at that game, approach Mackenzie, ask for an autograph. Tell her you're a friend of mine, friend of the show. I'm sure she'll be lovely to you. Mackenzie, thank you so much for coming by the show. I wouldn't be surprised if we want your expertise back again later in the year. But thank you so much.
oh no problem. Thanks for having me, and good luck with the rest of your shows.
Thank you very much. Thanks again to Mackenzie. After we stopped recording, her and I had even more of a great chat about everything going on in the OUA so far this season. So we will definitely have to have her back. But for now, there's some great options for you guys to watch this weekend. In the meantime, on the men's side, we got two undefeated teams coming together when Carleton plays Queens on Friday night. And I'm also going to be keeping an eye on the Nipissing Lakers on Saturday when they play Western. I'm really intrigued by that Nipissing squad. They're only 1-3 right now, but I think there's something there. And for the women, deja vu, we've got two undefeated teams coming together when Carleton plays Queens on Friday night. So that's going to be just like 4 or 5 consecutive hours of great basketball in Kingston this weekend with that great Queens crowd there as well. I'm really looking forward to that. I also like Laurentian and Windsor on Saturday night. I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup between the Lancers and Laurentian. That'll do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoy this weekend's games. My name's Griffin Porter. Thank you for tuning in to the OUA Basketball Show. We'll see you next week.